right, we are back. Working on Gastown, and we are. Is that I'm seeing like a weird like lag. Are you guys seeing that? Let me check. Back. Working on Gastown, and we are. Is that I'm seeing like a weird like lag. Are you guys? You guys are seeing that too. Let me check. Back. Just from me moving. Working on Gastown. Okay, cool. It might have just been, I don't know, something at the start of the stream. Who knows? Okay, so yeah. Yeah, we went through, or Steve went through and closed all of my, all the crazy open PRs that I had, which is fine. Like, that's all the, I don't know. I was going crazy on Gastown and felt the, yeah, all these do not merge ones. I had a bunch of them because I just was like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna just do everything. Turns out I couldn't, but you know, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna have that stream effect, or the, like, good morning. Yeah, I don't know, I felt bad after I said like 5 a.m. PST. And I don't know, I didn't show up till 5:13. I don't know, I feel like I have a job now, maybe, working on this stuff, streaming for you guys. So yeah, that's gonna bug me. That is there something slow on my computer? No, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just bothered by that like stream lag. It wasn't there before. I don't think I've changed any settings. Or I don't think it was there before. I don't know. Drinking Costco cold brew, Kirkland cold brew today. Not holding you to a time. I was curious what. Oh, okay. You asked that time. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I was working on a couple things yesterday, or yesterday afternoon, where, so at work, we're limited on budget. I can't just YOLO $200 a month Claude code on my own. I have to stay within like company budgets or whatever, I guess. And so I ran out of my Claude budget like super quick, which, you know, expected. So now I'm like, all right, we have access to like Cursor and Augie, with the, like, these alternatives. So I'm like, all right, how do we like use Gastown with these ones? So does the video like lag? Like, does my voice lag with that? I'm just curious. Like, I'm just curious. I just want to know if like it's just a terrible experience, like overall. Hang on, let me listen to myself really quick. See if it's. Use Gastown with these ones. So does the video like lag? Like, does my voice lag with that? I'm just curious. Oh, of course. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So working on adding multiple agents. I think you saw using Automaker. Oh, I wasn't. I was looking at it. Like somebody in the chat suggested that I look at Automaker and AutoCloud or AutoCloud. It's not terrible lag. Okay, cool. I haven't looked into those yet, and I think I'm just gonna follow my daily driver principle and really just figure out Gastown. And once I kind of understand the concepts behind Gastown, I don't know, spend another week or so on it. Then I'll like try other ones, because I don't know, if I just jump from like orchestrator, I may not like really have enough time to like sit and learn what these different things do, right? So I have a similar principle of like having a daily driver with your agents. Like if you just jump from agent to agent and like not and jump between them and not really get a feel for how certain agents work, you're not progressing. You're not earning XP in one single one. Yeah, about to pull the trigger on. Yeah, $200 a month. Yeah, if you can afford it, like it's. I see it as an investment in like my own like skill set, my own training in the for this future, right? I'm one of the like leading people seemingly at my company. Like I've written like actual documentation on how I use these things, and people have found them helpful. So and that's all because I use this like outside of work, and it's kind of like an investment in yourself. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know. Sorry, not like getting off on a tangent here, where people are willing to spend. AI ADHD is not a good thing. Got to get into something pretty deep before branching out and make comparisons. Yep, totally agreed. Yeah, so it's weird. Personal and like business budgets feel different, right? Like everyone like, oh, you're signing up for a $50 a month gym membership. It's like, oh man, like you're really like pulling on the purse strings. But then like maybe you go out on a Friday or Saturday night and you spend $100 on dinner, right? Or $200 at like a super nice place. And you like I've seen memes of this before, and like I'm sure everyone has the hustle grind set memes in terms of what you spend your money on, what you spend your time on is what you value. But that lag is still bothering me. Anyways, so $200 a month feels expensive, but if I were to say, hey, this $200 a month enables you to build a business, like that feels cheap now, right? Like this $200 a month can potentially make you $1,000 a month, say, or even more. Like say maybe you don't even necessarily get you don't even necessarily build a business, right? But like you learn enough skills you can just apply to your regular job. That lag is killing me. But you apply these skills to your regular job, you get a promotion, and that's probably worth $200 a month at least, right? Like if you get a promotion, you get a 5% raise or 10% raise, like that's well worth it, right? So it all depends. Personal and business budgets feel different. Business budgets feel more aggressive because they are max plan of what a full-time employee would cost. It's not a sub like Netflix. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Like if you, um, yeah, definitely compare it to a full time employee. It's like it's super cheap. Like if you compare it to developer time, that's if you what kind of business can you make though? I'm gonna text it, but pretty green on business side. I mean, so I've quote unquote failed at a lot of businesses. Um, Spending the 200 is worth it. Spend it now. I've got 5 agents going full time on projects that I abandoned. It's like drugs, seeing your ideas come to life. Exactly right. Um, that's so. Let's park the drugs thing really quick. Like we'll get back to the drugs, um, but paid for dev work and it's a drop in the bucket. Yeah, exactly. Business can you? What kind of business can you make? It's whatever you're interested in. It's whatever. Um, I, a lot of people say this. I think Naval, like I'm going to pull from Naval, is like you are the only one who has your perspective, your entire lifetime of experiences, and um, like all your like all the things that you make you have a certain perspective on the world, and that is like that is the business, and then, like that's why I'm doing this live stream, right? Like I'm doing this to eventually, like I don't know, show that hey, I can do like AI development work, and hopefully somebody sees this and like um whatever hires me, maybe like that's kind of the idea behind this, right? But I have this kind of skill set of I've done content creation before for like jujitsu, so this is like jujitsu. Now I feel the need to use all my usage. Yes, exactly, right. Um, yeah, I'm at the $200 a month. I'm at 57% used. You guys can't see that. 57% used for the week, and I've got some projects I need to do for the rest of this week. So, um, yeah. So the what you call it. So the business, what you make a business on, is entirely dependent on like what your experiences are, and you're an expert in something, right? Like you've lived a lifetime, and I don't know how many years of experience of development time you have or whatever, but like you're you have a job in something, plus you have like hobbies and interests and whatever. It's like okay, and you have certain skill sets that people are attracted to you somehow, or you can speak in front of people. Like me speaking on live stream is apparently, uh, I don't know, a pretty unique situation. If like 9 of you people, you guys are here, I don't know why my OBS chat isn't like updating with the viewers, but like according to YouTube, there's 9 people here watching me. I'm like, oh okay, like I I'm okay with public speaking because I do jiu-jitsu. I teach jiu-jitsu 10th Planet Las Vegas, um, Tuesday, Thursday for the last like 2 years, 6 a.m. class. So, and I get up early. Like these are all like, I'm giving myself as an example. These are all like qualities. Making a game I've thought about for years, but wasn't capable of fixing that regret. Yes, nice, exactly. So, yeah, like the getting back to your experiences plus what you can vibe code. So I've been focused on basically the skill of vibe coding and maybe not necessarily building. Like I've been focusing on like the mechanics of this. Like what do we do? How do we plan? How do we like comment on like how do we like analyze the plan? How do we like implement? How do we review it? Like all these like the steps of vibe coding. Um, I think these focusing on the skill is like the biggest lever for me first, and then maybe I can like uh, actually build something. Like I am trying to build something. I have like an example app, Roxas.ai. It doesn't really work right now, but um, basically, so if Roxas sounds familiar, yes, it's a Kingdom Hearts reference, and I was thinking about Sora, like the Sora AI video generator, and I was like, all right, let me name it Roxas. And I was thinking like, okay, what if we make a piece of content per Git commit or per Git like merge or per Git tag, because developers hate making content. Like I'm the one on screen here, and like I need to like streamline my content making process. Like I would love to just speak and just talk and have everything just be made for me, right? In my tone, my style. I would rather just live stream and just everything just just automatically gets made off of the artifacts of me talking, right? So that this is kind of the first step of that, is like, if you're working on a project, and you're building an app or whatever, you're vibe coding something, you want to communicate to whoever, like you just got to start making content. You still just got to start making marketing material. You're just like, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm building. And translate that into something that regular social media people will know, right? Because the people who are going to use your app, whatever you vibe code, aren't on GitHub, aren't like trolling the GitHub like stars and whatever, right? Like they're not. That's not your unlikely, unless you're making a developer tool or whatever, right? I don't call it vibe coding, call it agentic assisted coding. I prompted the agent at the subset and functional level come from event stream driven process markers or background, so it's translated naturally to isolated chunks of work for Claude. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, still architect the project. Yeah, for sure. Like that's, yeah, call it whatever you want. I mean, I'm just going off of like what Gene Kim, Steve Yagi called it. So people want to differentiate these things, and maybe you want to, but I don't know. I'm just, any AI coding, like I almost like just want to reclaim the word vibe coding and kind of like stick it to people who like don't take it seriously, right? And I want to reclaim the word slop, because slop is what turns into, like, I believe with enough process we can turn slop into business value. So anyways, I think we pinned, feels like drugs. Yes, the feeling of vibe coding is crazy, right? There's just like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, for sure. It's great. Steve Yagi in there talks about how it feels like a slot machine. It feels like there's like this reward system where you get a little hit of dopamine every time you see the text scroll, and you're like, oh, is it gonna make it? And then it does, and then sometimes it doesn't, and you have to like angle it and wrangle it to what you want it to do, right? And you have to like kind of guide it. So that's like I'm working longer, like I'm working more than ever. Like I'm doing more work, working longer, and I'm like kind of exhausted by the end of it, because I'm having fun, but like at the same time it's you're still using a bunch of energy. Anthropic is the casino, exactly. Like we are paying $200 a month for a casino subscription. So, I can embed the chat in stream. Is this into OBS Studio? Yeah, oh, okay. What? It's from all platforms on your screen. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I can launch it as a window. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I need to figure out how to embed the chat, like kind of as an overlay, um, somehow. I new event select. Oh no. Anyways, cool. Let's. Oh, this book. Gene Kim, Steve Yagi, Vibe Coding. Highly recommend it. The dude, Steve Yagi, like, he's the guy behind Beads and Gastown is what we've been looking into recently. Okay, cool. So now that we've kind of popped all those issues off the stack, I think that's kind of the style I'll go, is like I'll work a little bit, and then if you guys have questions or want to talk or whatever, I'll talk to the chat. Like, it's, I don't know. I'm streaming and you guys are here to to watch and like interact, so like I'm happy to talk about whatever. So, but anyways, what I started off with was content as code idea could be good for managers having that hard time keep track of commit. Yeah, that's a potential use case I see, is like a mini like internal feed of what work is going on, right? Like instead of stand up, the manager could scroll through what a feed of what their developers are doing, right? It's kind of I don't know, would be an interesting alternative to and it could be real time too. Like you don't necessarily need daily stand up or whatever, right? Like maybe you just have this like kind of Instagram feed of what people are working on, so which you can't really fake. Like if it's in code, you did something and it'll propagate to the feed. So I don't know, it's weird. Could be interesting. Have you had issues with Gaston on longer running tasks? Has a higher fail rate? Yeah, and I think that's just we'll figure that out over time, as the models get better and as like Gastown kind of evolves, with adding guardrails and kind of health checking tasks. And like Steve Yagi calls it like Kubernetes for agents. And I'll where is it? Where's the comparison? Okay, here. So like as we kind of bump up the control plane and like having more like checks, to like essentially health checks on running agents, we'll be able to like prod them and like keep them alive and keep them going on tasks. It's just a way to like distribute work, right? And like leaving things out. Like I read design of let me I guess I'll find the book here. I read this book this summer while I had my sabbatical from work, and basically I'll keep this up. It's kind of a classic book where people always reference this, and like I think I've seen ads where people give away like the ebook for free or whatever. It's good. It's definitely like gets you thinking about distributed systems and basically how you can't trust anything. you can't, like, if it's distributed, so it's somewhere else on the internet, it's not the machine like that you're on. If a machine has to talk to another machine, there may be a case where you never talk to that machine ever again. Like you never hear a response from that machine. So there's going to be cases where we kick off a polecat and we never hear from it again, and we need to like kind of somehow circle back to it and like remember, all right, let's check in on its status. And we're kind of like we're 1 week in to this new Kubernetes experiment, like Kubernetes for agents experiment, and we need to like build those things out. So I do also like see that kind of agents give up and or not give up, but like they stop and then they don't like send mail back. Like the mail system is kind of the main thing that like is like a return value almost. Like the mayor kicks off agent processes or agent whatever. Yeah, new agent processes. And like it's the duty of the agent to like mail back the mail to the witness. I think like the witness is supposed to do something here. I think this is the point of the witness. I'm not. Yeah, some roles. You realize you need an agent to just watch another and help them get unstuck. Yeah, so yeah, the witness is supposed to like help nudge the polecats along. I'm not totally sure what the crew does. Are the agents you'll personally use the most after the mayor? Your are per rig coding agents who work for the overseer and are not managed by the witness. You choose their names, have long-lived identities. You can spit up as many as you like. Has anybody used the crew? Like, I don't know. I just use the mayor and like tell it to spin off tasks. And I haven't used the crew yet, so I'm just curious if anybody else has. But yeah, let's do. Let me grab some more coffee here. Cool. Actually, I'll keep that up because it seems like I always refer back to the initial post is kind of like canonical, and it's just like, all right, let's figure this out. Okay, so Yegi closed all my PRs because like I opened up a bunch. I got kind of crazy on Monday. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna like do a bunch of work and whatever. Really embrace Gastown, and I opened up so many PRs in parallel that I was like, oh, I can't like actually get to these. Like, and that may be a problem that you're looking at. Like if you're seeing that a way of like, how do we manage all this code, right? Like even as a developer, we're probably going to spin up so much code that I couldn't possibly review it all myself. Like in a timely fashion. Like I spun up like 18 PRs on Monday. I'm like, I'm not gonna actually have time to test all this stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking through like my workflow for work, how I'm gonna like apply this to my job, and like I'm assigned JIRAs. I'm thinking like maybe it's like a sprint. It may be like a whole like sprint cycle of like, all right, I get all these JIRAs, start the sprint. I use the like a JIRA MCP server on for Claude, the mayor. Tell the mayor, hey, I've got new JIRAs assigned the sprint. Kick off a polecat or a convoy per JIRA to go investigate and make sure we have all the rigs that we need. Because that's what I did yesterday was I checked out a lot of rigs locally. That's what blew through my Claude budget at work, was just checking out rigs. Like I had, I don't know, 20 different repos that I wanted to all put into Gastown. I was like, all right, if Gastown is supposed to be like the central hub of my workflow, Let me just check out all the rigs that I need. And that was expensive. And that cost me like, I don't know, I forget what it was, but like it blew my budget. So I was like, okay, that was probably dumb on my part, but I was like, all right, I needed to see like how expensive was this, right? And so I was like, all right, now I need to like, now I don't, could you have used Haiku? Yeah, Haiku to review these tickets to do lower tier work. Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that's also a feature that we're trying to. Somebody wanted. I don't know if we do have that yet. I'm saying we as if like, because everything is open on gas. Yeah. Again, like I am, like when I say we, I guess I'm a contributor or whatever, but like I'm not like, I'm a nobody. Like I'm not a. I am not. I do not represent Gastown in any way. Add Gastown doc files with cloud code knowledge. I don't read docs anymore. How to do things. Yeah. Says he's yeah. Nice to see you again. Says he X. Add Gastown and doc files with cloud code knowledge. I don't read docs anymore. I just, as an AI advisor, I do things. Yeah, for sure. And like, so that's an indicator an indicator of where we are in our kind of like AI evolution or whatever. Like how often do we reach for AI as a first thing, right? How do we, like, is it the first thing that we do to when interacting with anything, right? Like I caught myself not the other day, but like before winter break, I caught myself like debugging a Jenkins build manually. And I say manually because I was like, running through the logs, trying to read through the logs, trying to figure out like the different function calls and like what was going on. And it was like, I don't know, 30 minutes before I realized I'm like, I can just point Claude at this and it can figure out everything. And it did. It was like much easier than I could have made it. Like, I think we're going to start to figure out all the different use cases, and you just kind of, the ultimate habit is for us to always reach for it first. Try to reach for it first on everything that we do, and that will build up the skill over time. Like habits turn into skills. 95%. Yeah, for sure. Like short of like talking to your teammates, short of like sitting on, talk to AI more than your wife. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like I started using, so I used, it was like this week that I started using Whisperflow locally for my personal machine, and then using, so because Whisperflow isn't like approved at my job because, you know, like budgets and contracts or whatever, I'm just using the macOS native like speech to text, and it sucks. It's not as good as Whisperflow. But still, like the speech to text like is a huge improvement, huge speed up. And yeah, like it's pretty amazing. Like I don't know how many more lines of code I'm going to manually type in my lifetime because you could just tell it, you can just talk to it and say, hey, just do the thing. And I think that decision, or that like your first action when you're told to do something, or like when your manager says, hey, I want you to work on this task, and then your first action after that probably should be to use the AI to do something, right? Like it probably won't be read the docs, and you'll probably say, all right, hey Claude, go pull this repo, read it, understand it, tell me what this is about, read this Jira. And we're more like, we're going to be gluing things even more now, as if we weren't gluing things before. Like I'm a DevOps person. I live in like this middle glue land of like connecting all these different systems together, and pipelines and infrastructure, and kind of being this whatever, connecting all these different services together. And I'm like, oh, this is like my job, but like cranked up to 11, where I don't even, I give it all the inputs. I can just be like, all right, look at this Jira, look at this repo, look at maybe this PR or these relevant things, and then you synthesize it, like to give it to Claude and be like, hey, you figure it out, and it's amazing. And I had Claude, so we have like these test Kubernetes instances where developers can like deploy their new versions of their application on, and somebody was having an issue with one of them. I was like, all right, let me tell Claude to deploy it and monitor it. And Claude knows Kubernetes better than me, and it knew what things to monitor right away. And it was like, it was up, and then I asked it to, it said like, oh, it was successfully deployed. And then a few minutes later, I told it to go back and check it again, and it was like, oh, it's down. I was like, all right, figure out why it's down, and went through the Kubernetes events and the logs, and it figured it out. It was like, oh, hey, yeah, there was this, it's reconciling against the GitOps repo or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like that would have taken me a day to figure all that out, to like really trace down, like figure out the commands to run. And so yeah, it's amazing when you don't need syntax. You can just focus on like you were saying, architecting. We're focused on the architecture, and we're focused on how these things connect together. Haven't read docs in 3 months. I feed knowledge files into AI as a DevOps on Gov, Kate's OpenStack. I use them as micro knowledge bases for instant reference. Yep. Exactly. That's awesome. Yeah. We're definitely in as a DevOps person, and like that's the perspective I take, is like, we're in a gluier era than ever before. Cool. All right. Welcome. 16 people in chat today. Let's go. Yeah, we're probably going till I've got my first meeting at 8:30 PST, so we've got some time. Basically, so getting back to what I was doing yesterday. I added code coverage, and I need code coverage. Yegi closed it because I didn't clearly mark it as like, hey, this is ready for review. Close it for now. Please remember when ready to merge. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think this is ready to merge. So I'm gonna say. Oh, and I was also like working on different agents for Gastown. Working cloud automation, DevOps, and AI's augmented work a ton. Lots of time on my hands now. Yep. And that's the thing, is like, now you have time on your hands. It's like that's what I feel with Gastown, is like, oh, what do I do next? I kicked off a thing, and it's like, I got to feed it still. Like, I feel like I'm not, like, I don't know, living up to my potential or something. I don't know. So some kind of like guilt of like, I'm not using AI enough. I'm not using it to its fullest potential. I create a system problem on my agent every time. Here's add on and CNCF. What do you think? Kubernetes is cool and necessary. Oh. Joke. Yes. Okay. So I'll be like, oh, because I was also in the middle of doing agent Let's see. Oh, close. Cursor. Add cursor agent. Yeah. So I'm adding cursor agents and also other things here. I was adding cursor, Augie, and amp. Because, so I don't believe we have, let me, sorry, like this might be the most code I write all day. Sorry. There, that might be the most most code I write all day. So we say GAT up. Because I was like, oh, we need these are the things I have access to at work, is like cursor and Augie. And has anybody used Augie before? Augment CLI. I think it's more of it's a very enterprisey thing. Their big thing is they use an index they like pre-index your code, so it's easier to search. So they can like it's a tool that the agent can call and be like, hey, I'm looking for this thing. I'm looking for give me all the code that like instead of like manually grepping, quote unquote manually grepping, the agent greps through your repo. Instead of doing that, it can like query this augment index, and it returns the relevant code that it's looking for. So it's an embedded DB. So I believe let's see. I'm shilling for them. I should be getting paid for this, but so I have a subscription, and it has a index. I guess it puts it online. Like I don't. That's what AutoCloud is doing. Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. I'm sure this is like a trick that everyone is doing. Like all these things are like low hanging fruit that we're seeing right now, is like what's possible for given the time period that we're at. Like I'm sure everyone's doing all kinds of like similar things. So yeah, I'm sure this is like the first thing that everyone's doing to optimize like search tool calls, at least. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, so that's I'm adding augment because this is just what's available to me at work, and I had to buy a personal subscription to like test all this stuff out. So anyways, yeah, and then amp is like the free one that Yegi used to work at. Now I think, I don't know, he's probably doing well off his book, and like people like in that Gastown article, he was like, yeah, people have like offered to just sponsor him just to do himself basically, and do Gastown's things. So that's cool. That's like goals. Like I think at the end of this article is the goal of, let's see. Yeah, I already started to get strange offers from people. Pay me to sit at home and be myself, work on beads in Gastown, just write a nice blog post, go to a conference once in a while. 3 such offers. Yeah, that's the freaking dream, right? So just be a mad scientist and just kind of pursue whatever you're passionate about. That sounds like goals, and kind of what I'm doing right now, right? Like I'm trying to figure out how to, yeah, I don't know, show what I'm doing. Hopefully enough people are interested, and whatever. So smash that like button and subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. Like that's the goal, is to kind of like be yourself and project it out into the world, and the world receives it and likes it enough such that it pays you enough to just keep doing what you're best at, right? Like I was saying earlier, is like you with creating businesses and whatnot, like you are some of your experiences, and only you have had all those different experiences, and all you have one like unique perspective on the world. And I don't know, under capitalism, it's the end goal is to monetize yourself or whatever, right? Like, I don't know. I have opinions, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's how I have the most fun or whatever, or how you make work such that it's just like you living or whatever, right? Like make money on just living, or just doing what you would normally do. I don't know. Because yeah, like my wife asked me that last night, was like, what would you do if, like, what's the dream job? I was like, well, I enjoy what I'm doing right now, like working, and then also doing jujitsu and spending time with her. But like now that I'm doing the streaming thing and content creation, like this is another job. Like this is a part-time job on top of my full-time job, and on top of like having a relationship with my wife and like all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to like juggle all these things together. So anyways, getting back to the code. This is life stuff. So I'm trying to add like support for other agents here, and let's see. Oh yeah, so yeah, you close these ones. So I'm gonna tell Gastown, GT Mayor attach. What? Nested with care. Oh shit, I'm within. Oh shit. Oh no. I didn't realize I was within the mayor. Oh no. Let me just take everything down. Just everything come down. Okay. Let me just close everything. Do I have anything else? Oh shit, I've got other. I'll just close everything and just refresh. Okay, cool. I messed up this because the freaking OBS is tied to a certain, let's see, iTerm, yes, okay, we're back, cool. All right, Gastown, PSA. Oh, interesting. There's Augie's still up. I am not sure. Hello. Interesting. I thought I killed everything, but I don't know. Maybe Augie is some kind of long-lived thing? Maybe? I don't know. Anyways, Gaston up. Can't find pain. HQ Deacon. And that's the cool thing is I think these are like idempotent, where if it like fails, you can like just run the command again. GT mayor attach. Oops. Right. All right. Hook empty. Still context. Multi-agent test. Awaiting instructions. Okay, cool. So let's say here. Let's just start with this one for now. Please open up this, reopen this PR and indicate that it's ready for review. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the this is the drugs part. Is like you watch it do its thing. I mean, this is just one, right? But like I don't know. If you watch back on Monday's show, I was freaking right. I was just sending it. I was able to just open up, kick off a bunch of like polecat processes, and it made 18 PRs, and Steve Yagi had to close all of them. I wasn't able to like process and like review myself all that code. So, I was getting. I had a point earlier where it was like, okay, I think it's all this code work is still going to take a sprint. It's just going to be structured differently. Like, you know how you get most of your work done towards the end of the sprint because like you have that deadline and, you know, like it's the crunch time feeling, right? So, but at the start, I think AI is going to be great at least like how I'm planning on doing this is that the sprint starts. I'm going to be like, all right, Gastown Mayor, I have a bunch of new JIRAs. Please kick off a polecat or caravan. I always say caravan, but convoy per JIRA. And maybe there's like 5 of them or whatever. Do research, get back to me with a plan for each, and then like go from there. Because like the worst part with any work is starting. Like you just kind of dread starting it, right? And I think having a fun tool, a thing that like gives you a dopamine hit, that you want to use, hopefully makes work more fun, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's what big tech is secretly doing anyway, right? Maybe this is all a plan to make us more productive little worker bees, where it's a productivity boost, but then like you makes you want to do it more. All right, like it's a self-reinforcing kind of virtuous cycle. So who knows? There's a That's the conspiracy angle. Okay. Can I open pull request reopen? Open a new pull request on the same branch if necessary. Um, yep. Force push, so won't allow reopening the original PR. Okay, cool. Gotcha. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Check out my Gastown article. I'm gonna put out articles on my newsletter weekly, so please subscribe. Check it out. That's kind of like the main thing. My main kind of focus is doing a bunch of stuff throughout the week and then kind of summarizing it on Fridays. And then I'll write it on Fridays and then put it out on the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, and then make a bunch of content around it. That's kind of the plan moving forward now. Okay, so what is it? Oh, it's rebasing. Okay, fine. Cool. Sounds good. Let's see. Do we have anybody on Twitch? I'm just curious. Most people have come from YouTube, but yeah, maybe it's just YouTube. Cool. All right. Let's draft file state open. Okay, PR view. Open it. Just join. New here, been following with great interest. Find the cost so far. Well, I swiped my credit card for the $200 a month Claude Code subscription, and I'm at 57% usage for this week. So yeah, it is expensive, but it's worth it. I view these things as a business expense rather than CI is running. Oh. Please monitor CI. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, but I was talking about earlier, is like personal expense versus business expense. You didn't try AMP yet? Well, that I have a PR up to add support for AMP and other agents. Actually, he closed it, but I need to reopen when I'm like ready to actually, when I've tested it out. So yes, I don't get how the ads work. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, does anybody click on the ads? They must, right? Or I don't know. But yeah, I I feel like people are very cost like sensitive, right? With their personal things, people say don't think they have money for a $50 a month gym subscription, gym membership or whatever, right? But then like they spend a bunch of money on DoorDash or nice dinners or what. Not saying that you shouldn't spend money on nice dinners and DoorDash and like having fun, but when you say, oh, you want to open up a business and your first developer, open code support would be awesome. Okay, yeah, I think I've gotten that too. I don't know. I have 3 clients in my PR already. I think somebody may also have a PR for that. So I don't know. I don't use open code, so I'm not like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but yeah. I think that will be addressed at some point. Open code will get addressed at some point, but the where was it going? Oh, business versus personal expenses is that we're so keen on like minimizing, like, yeah, we look at every $17 Netflix subscription with like suspicion, versus like a tool that can literally build you an app or a business or something that can help you make money. We think that's too expensive, right? Like you got to spend money to make money, and it's ultimately like, even if you don't make money on the 200, like say you don't even like open a business on with your $200 a month Cloud Code subscription, it's still worth it to have like, it is your job as a developer to like be up on the latest technology. Like, sorry, like people who are kind of like, oh, I don't want to learn it, or oh, it's too expensive. It's like, sorry, like I kind of took the plunge in this laptop that I'm using, this MacBook. My old computer died last year, and I was doing content creation for jiu-jitsu, and I was like, fuck, dude, like that's like a new computer is like $3,000. I'm like very like, I don't know, tense about it, because it's like, it's $3,000, like it's a tough economy, like we're trying to save money. And my wife encouraged me, and she was like, it's your side hustle, right? Like you want to try to make something of this. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Like take the plunge. Like it's, we have weird feelings about business expenses versus personal expenses. And business expenses, you expect to spend money to try to make money, right? Like, and you're going to spend money that isn't going to make you money. 200 practically limited. I don't know. Like, if you use it to the extent that Steve Yegi uses it, like I've maxed out the current session. Like I've definitely maxed out, gotten a couple 100% on the sessions within the limits, right? I think on stream too. So Yegi has support for multiple Claude memberships. Like you have to make multiple accounts if you're coding at the level that he is at, to whatever, to support like full time, like it's totally worth the investment, but still, ouch. Want to get all the free tokens you can find. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're at like Steve Yegi's level, you are using multiple Claude accounts, multiple $200 a month Claude accounts to fund your Gastown usage. Failures unrelated. No, fix the goddamn failures. Like this is failing after. Please fix the failures or rebase to fix the failures. Is not short of money. Well, is there? Oh yeah, for sure. No, he has whatever amount of money he needs. I'm sure he probably doesn't even have to like pay for this stuff. Like it's someone will eventually pay for it. Like it's not a Yeah, it's kind of like that Claude. The big news story this last week was the head of Claude posting his workflow, and people are like, oh well, he's got unlimited token budget. It's like, well, we need to start acting as if we also have unlimited token budgets, because like a lesson of this vibe coding book was like, you got to burn tokens to learn. You got to like actually use the thing and not be terribly concerned about how much it costs. I've been using GLM for the grunt work and Opus to debug plan, do harder stuff. It can seemingly run forever. GLM, I haven't heard of that. GLM. Coding plan. Advancing the coding. GLM cabinets. Sure. Coding partner. Okay, so it's another agent. Is this like a local agent? As far as agents, you can micromanage them and curse them. They can just keep working. Can't do that with humans. Yep, exactly. It's good. Also, Minimax. Free for open code. Open source AI coding agent. Okay. All right. But yeah, so okay, this will bring me to my this PR. And I raised this issue. Is open source you can run locally or use the coding plan? Okay, nice. Cool. I opened an issue, functional system tests eventually. Nobody's commented on it yet, but yeah, I just opened it last night. Basically, all these coding agents, we're going to add support for all these coding agents. And we're going to, we have this orchestrator, and we got to make sure this orchestrator plays nice with all these different agents, and make sure that it, we can run through the happy path of all these agents. So there's this interesting, I don't know, not chicken or egg problem, but at some point this project I'm sure will be funded at some point, but will actually cost money with testing, because for functional system tests, say at the main branch level, CI level, where you actually spin up a Gastown instance and you run through a test kind of convoy or test, we're exercising all these different functionalities to make sure everything works, right? Make sure we don't break something in a horrific way, and not just be it works on my laptop, trust me, bro. We at some point the project needs really hard guardrails, and that's ultimately what I argue for. Vibe coding is as DevOps people, as pipeline CI people, we see how these projects go, and now we can throw as much testing as we want at these pipelines and kind of really ensure really high levels of code coverage, really high levels of testing, really thorough testing, UI tests, or system tests like this. We can just throw a bunch of agents at it to work on these things and maintain them. We don't even have to bug developers to say, oh, go fix the ID tag or whatever, right, on your system tests. They'll just go and fix it themselves, right? Or the agents will fix it themselves. So Peter Steinberger said he spent around $6,000 on Codex, but he has produced about 20 plus open source projects and 44,000 GitHub commits in the last few months. So it's really good value for the money, really. Yep, exactly. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're in this kind of weird age of. They talk I don't know. I'm just gonna have this like handy and just I'm regurgitating things, right? Like I'm none of these are like original thoughts from me. Where it's like the things that we've always wanted to do. Like somebody mentioned earlier, like they're working on projects that they never would have dreamed of. Me too, right? Like because it would be too much work. Now all these things are getting lowered. They have an acronym FAFO in the book, which is fast autonomous. I forget the fast autonomous available. Oh, here. Ambitious. Yeah, faster, ambitious, autonomous, fun, and optionality. So, ambitious. So you can be way more ambitious with your projects now with vibe coding and so like with this, like it's watching the GitHub PR build check while I'm yapping here. And it's making sure that all this stuff it's gonna like fix it if it finds any issues, right? So ambitious, you can now take on projects that you otherwise wouldn't have had time for. And this Peter Steinberger, I don't know who that guy is. I'm sure he's a cool guy. Peter Steinberger. Build tools to solve my own problems. Came back from retirement, messed with AI previously. PSP DF kit. Nutrient building blocks SDKs. Oh, okay. Current projects. Oh shit, that's crazy. That is a wild amount of, a wild amount of work. Writing about AI workflows. Oh, okay, cool. Full apps in days, not months. Speaking of conferences. Future development. Okay. All right. This guy is super legit. Cool. Oh, how can one DM me? You can get in contact. I've got Instagram. Enterprise Vibe Code. Pretty active on there too. That's more of like a clip thing. But yeah, like reach out to me on all the social medias. I've got a link in bio. I'm not super active on like X. Like I'll check it, but oh, that looked horrible. Oh well. Or reach out to me on LinkedIn and all that stuff. Why does it feel like ASMR? I don't know. I don't know why. I've been told that I have a calming voice, or like I have a good voice or something. I don't know. Let's see. Have you tried the Ralph code plugin on Claude Code? It can run practically forever if you specify a task well, like say writing tests. Ralph code plugin. No, I haven't tried it. Ralph Wiggum plugin? Is that it? Oh, I've seen this, like, I think I've seen it. Does Gastown support Codex CL? Yes. Yes, it does support Codex CLI. I'm also curious how the Ralph method currently freaking out about compares beats about. Would benefit for bees, guess how much more scalable approach. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried this, and I feel like it's based on Simpsons, basically bachelor, where you feed in a prompt and a spec and just goes through until things pass. I feel like I saw this article where this dude was like, he did it and let it run overnight or something. And I mean, I don't know. Is this a Ralph Wiggum loop? Like, I told it to like check the CI until it passes, right? So I don't know. Like, oh, okay. The CI failed. Is it gonna? Let's see. Is it gonna figure out that it needs to do something? Okay, cool. Yeah, it does. Cool. Just saw the recommendation to join. Please tell our AI dev value agents. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming in here. I am a regular guy. I am a DevOps guy. I just so happen to be like a huge fanboy, I guess, of Steve Yegi and Gene Kim, this vibe coding book. I read it and I don't know. I follow Steve Yegi's work and Gastown. I contributed like a couple things, like, and it's the dashboard that I contributed is getting ripped out. So I basically have contributed almost nothing to Gastown, but I'm just early and I don't know. It's a thing that I am trying to like figure out. And I'm just kind of figuring out on camera for everyone. I'm no AI expert. I've used vibe coding a lot, and I'm kind of thinking about it out loud on camera. I guess I'm. I don't know. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything like that. I'm totally open to anything. I just have certain things I do think are like kind of fundamental. Is that we are. You should try things out for longer than a day, right? Like you need to have a daily driver, and whatever you're using, you need to use for at least a week or a month. Like give it a good solid try, because whenever you change your tool set, you incur like a cost of like the learning curve again. No tool is like net positive in the short term, right? You're always going to have a learning curve. It's always going to be, less efficient than your current method. So anyways, Ralph works along tedious, well-defined tasks. Gastown works best. We need dynamic problem solving. That's the article. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. I feel like that's cool. Damn, integration test failing. No, they didn't accept all those changes. No. I didn't accept all those changes. Like I put on all those PRs, do not merge, because I felt like I don't want to make anybody review something that I haven't reviewed yet. And that's I think what people are, the learning curve with just vibe coding in general. Junior engineers are still going to be junior engineers. They're going to like junior engineer, like people are complaining that people are putting out slop. Junior engineers put out slop anyway. Like this just like scales up the amount of quote unquote slop that people put out. But the thing that what we're trying to do is teach people like it's more of a habit, and it's more of process than does AI make good code or not, right? Like we are more about, hey, let's teach this process of how do we like it's kind of like, okay, would you tell somebody if you're, and like I've caught this too, is like before AI code, when I wrote like a regular PR and I didn't review it myself, reviewers, I would just be like, I barely get it done, I barely get it working, and I get all the tests passing, and I submit it, and I'm like, oh hey, please review, and I don't review it myself. Like they find like super basic things that I would have found if I did a review myself. So that's still the case here, right? AI makes code, we define the guardrails to make a good code. Yes, that is the entire point. that is my thesis behind this entire channel. Enterprise Vibe Code is we now have the power to define as many guardrails in a multi-dimensional way that we want to like keep things on track. Okay, what's this? Fine. Lint fix, pin beads main recently extracted agent role types. Oh, did beads get an update? Did we get? Oh shit! I'm using an old version of beads, so it's probably like upgrade BD. Oh, it's not on like Homebrew or something. Huh. All right. Please install latest version of beads locally. Please delete the Homebrew version of beads if necessary. And please unpin the CI fix for beads, pinning beads to 44. Yeah. So yeah, that's the entire point. Is like we have guardrails, and we should know like what we are looking at, and we should know how things should go, right? So my whole thing, I guess I'm gonna like that's my thing is like I'm gonna just have books that here. A second. Where'd it go? Yeah, I don't have it. All right, I have it somewhere, but Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink is like, I don't know, foundational in that we should want to own everything in our kind of like scope of work, right? We want to own things. We shouldn't want to like push off things to other people, because then we depend on somebody else to do the job, and we can just depend on ourselves to do the job, right? So when people say, oh, AI wrote bad code, it's like, no, the human using the AI like accepted the bad code, right? So I think we're mischaracterizing who ultimately is responsible. And that's what they say in vibe coding too, is like ultimately the human is responsible. So we need to embrace that responsibility. If we're going to use this technology and actually kind of make it work, we have to be responsible. Like if we take on the respond, like if we use the car technology, like for driving, we have to take on the responsibility of being safe with it, right? Like we have to use all technology responsibly, right? If we, I don't know, driving is probably one of the most dangerous things we do every day, right? Like that's, we have to be responsible with it. So same thing with AI coding. The BMAD method makes it easier to write clean code. You define coding standards and like for your agent to follow. BMAD seems really heavyweight to me, but to be fair, I haven't tried it. It is pretty heavyweight, true, but I like avoiding technical debt. Yeah, I feel like I've looked at the documentation for BMAD. I think it's the same. It's probably going to be similar to the formulas. Let's see. All right. BD version. Or BD version. BD version. Okay, cool. Unpinned back to latest. Okay, cool. And okay. That's cool. It has like a little suggestion. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this in Claude, is that sometimes it knows what you're going to ask it and it like pre-populates it there. So I don't know. It's kind of neat. BMAD. Breakthrough method for agile AI-driven development. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Like, so this I watched this talk, this AI, was it AI conference, YouTube? I forget. Is it the AI conference? Human layer. This dude, yeah, no vibes allowed. This dude, he talks about this. And AI engineer, I guess is the. He talks about this, and he talks about, like, I don't know, I forget where exactly in his talk, but he calls this type of thing playing house. That we, and to be fair, like, the whatever, Gastown has these different roles too, but like, you know how people like post on Twitter and say, oh, that all this is sorry, it doesn't have role agent types. So remove role agent types to distract from B's core and recommit. Fix the tests to use the latest beads. So there's probably some balance between like playing house, like this dude, not Peter Steinberger, but Dex Horthy, human layer guy. There's a difference between, yeah, like you've seen those articles where it's like, oh, I have an AI team now, and it's they just made a bunch of roles with all this, like the titles of human people, right? And I've tried this too. Like I've tried having my own little like whatever process. So maybe this works. Maybe it works. I'm not sure. But if something is, I don't know, like there's like, this is probably great specifically for software development process, or whatever you're saying is like, it's heavier weight, clean code, if that's what you're like looking to do, sure. But for, I guess there's a more general, like Gastown, I think, is intentionally leaving things a little bit more open. And I think the formulas are going to be like this type of thing, right? Like the formulas are going to be the behaviors that you ask your agents to do. So like formulas provide you a way to describe and decompose pretty much all knowledge work, right? So I keep coming back to this. I think this is going to be a really big deal. This is just one formula. This is the shiny formula: design, implement, review, test, submit. Like this is the process that you want your, and then it's like the quote unquote rule of 5 expander or whatever. And the aspect, like you look at security, like, whatever, audit the different, like do a thorough review, right? So I think these roles are going to be more like actions, more like the features that we do versus like, I don't know. You ask it, hey, audit it based on the security. You don't need to like kind of set it up saying you're a security expert with 20 years experience and you know all the fundamental, like, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on this role like theory crafting thing. I think if you just ask it a verb, if you just say, hey, analyze this from a product perspective, you don't need to like, I don't know, you don't have to craft a whole like prompt role for it, maybe. I don't know. That's just my opinion. 12 specialized agents, 34 workflows across 4 phases. It's like, so what I get here is maybe it's not bad. Maybe I just need to spend some time in it and like actually embrace it before like making a judgment, right? Like that's dead link. I don't know. It just feels like everyone is going to have their own little frameworks. And I guess yeah, people are contributing to this. That's good. 20 PRs. So yeah, people are going to like rally around what they believe in, right? And these are also probably based on like cults of personality and whatever, right? I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm a freaking fanboy, and like I'm a fanboy of Gene Kim, and then therefore like that transferred over to Steve Yegi. That's why I'm working on Gastown, why I'm trying to make it work. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I feel like we have to give whatever thing we work on, we have to give it like a fair shake. Okay, cool. PR checks pass now. What? Oh, what is the BMAN method that it is kind of what you say, but mostly helps with context. Given AI hallucinates, given a large enough project, it will become less useful. Yeah, all these frameworks are going to get baked into the models themselves, right? Or into the agents. So it's like, why doesn't Claude have an agent orchestrator? Like they make the freaking agent, right? Like they should have something to orchestrate many Claudes together, right? Sorry, 1 second. Let me. All right. Yeah. So, and that's part of the skill of being a how it works in here. Yeah, in my previous videos, I attempt the beginner one. Then I kind of like I accidentally spin up two instances of Gastown that like derails me for like 30 minutes. I think somewhere in the middle, I start kind of whatever, actually working with that. But the next one, the Gonna Fly Now, that's where I open up like 18 PRs and go kind of crazy with it. So, or is that the next one? I don't know. A couple of ones I open up a crazy amount of PRs and like it's nutty. So yeah, you can probably watch one of those. But yeah, in terms of like project scope, Anti-Grav is good. Agent Manager, I think, is the only one from major AI companies. I admire the vision, but still ways from being practical. I think Cursor also claims to manage agents or something. But yeah, the going back to if you give it a large enough project, right? So that's the trick. That's the skill in being a developer, is knowing what is large and what isn't, and that what is large for an agent and what isn't, right? And that takes time just messing with it. That takes time actually using it and knowing what is a correctly sized agent scope. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe these things have the frameworks themselves, like they're going to be useful and good, and I think at some point parts of them, or at least concepts of them, because it sounds like many people have brought up AutoClaude and whatever, all these different ones. All these probably work pretty similar. Like you can only orchestrate agents so many ways, right? It just like Kubernetes had Mesos before it, and whatever other like Docker. I'm sure Docker like did Docker Swarm or whatever too, right? One of these is going to win out. Like we've seen this. We've seen the story before of like proliferation of standards will eventually get to a consolidation, and that's going to be led by a handful of major players. But for right now, like we're just kind of like fending for ourselves. So we have, yeah, we're like not really, we don't have a bunch of like training. This is all new to everyone. So nobody has like, whoever's selling you a course, like doesn't really know what they're doing, right? Like they know what they're doing enough to like get non-technical people to buy. But I feel like, I don't know, like the real training is in like, I think why I made this channel. It's like, I think the real guardrails, the real processes that we use in the industry every day, we just need to scale those up. We just need to scale up planning and having multiple agents look at a plan and kind of like build up a plan all together, right? And that involves using all the different agents from all the different frontier models, which nobody's going to like, they're not going to tell you, OpenAI isn't going to tell you, hey, use Gemini, or Claude isn't going to tell you, oh, use like Cursor or whatever, right? Like nobody's going to like acknowledge each other's strengths. And I think it's on us as a community to figure out the best practices for all these things. The frontier models are going to like have their best practices for their individual models or their individual agents, but we need to figure out how to orchestrate all these together. Okay, cool. Ready for review. Please indicate that is ready for review in the PR description. Okay. All right, let's do a code review of this. Actions fetch depth 0. Who knows why fetch depth 0? Means to fetch all history. Oh, interesting. There's a project on called Oh My Open Code that does that. You can make different models do different tasks in tandem. Okay, cool. Oh My Open Code. Oh My Open Code. Best agent harness. Everybody codes like you. Agent sharing is this indistinguishable human code. Yeah. The orchestrator is coming this week. Get notified on X. Cool. Again, like everybody's going to have their own thing, and this may be good. I'm not like reserving. I'm reserving judgment. I'm withholding judgment. So yeah, I don't know. 34 pull requests. It's got active support. So yeah, people believe in this. Like that's how I'm judging. That's how I judge these like open source projects, is like how many people are spending their own tokens on these things. Hello, Samarth. It's your Samarth. Nice to see you. Okay, cool. So yeah, how many people are spending their own cold hard tokens on improving whatever whatever thing that they're working on? So downloads full commit history. Back to wait, why do we do that? Why do we want to, like, hang on. So again, this is why we still review our code. Why do we add fetch depth 0? Task with coverage. Is it for the code coverage thing? Is that like, do we evaluate where it's used? Check for beads changes. Needs full history. Run git diff. Comparing PR branch against base branch. Oh, okay. Get related test version. Get operations. Yeah, first history. So we added this line to fix the tests. Check for beads changes. Is that? Did you guys hear that neck crack? Like I just kind of pushed my head up and pop. Maybe it's just me. Okay. Let's see. What are you working on currently? We're working on Gastown, trying to add code coverage because we need to know how much we're testing and have confidence in what is going out. No, fetch up 0 is part of the original coverage PR, not something. Okay. To enable coverage collection. Okay, gotcha. Cool. It's fine. Do PR what's the PR build time on this PR versus on main? Is there a significant difference? So you're down with gas town. What are your overall thoughts on it? Yeah, it's expensive. The I'm just trying to add other agents to kind of that are cheaper, like Cursor. I've access to only have access to certain agents at my job, so I'm adding Cursor and Augie and different things like that to so I can still use Gastown in my work context. It doesn't work exactly the same. Claude is definitely the best one. But yeah, I'm trying to use these at my job in addition to here, in addition to live streaming my coding. Okay, so we're making the build a little bit. All right, we're fine. We're not like I was worried about making a gigantic like change in the build time, but not really. Okay, so we're just doing our own code review. So we're making our code coverage stage dependent on both of the test stages. So we can gather the code coverage, like combine the code coverage from both of these. Get coverage data, package, coverage report, upload coverage report, bot comment. Yeah, it can only do this bot comment thing on internal PRs, not fork PRs. Beads, get ignore. Do we need the beads get ignore file edition? Do we need the .beads directory? README? Oh, I think it's... Do we add like beads? Why are we adding beads? Do we need to add all these .beads files here? While we're here, smash that like button, help me out so I can live stream more. That is always super helpful. Always like and subscribe. Definitely boosts the algorithm. So should not be in the PR if you're, yeah, cool. So yeah, this is why we review our own PRs. So again, this is, if I had a book here, I would show, this is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, is I need to actually own the code that comes out of AI. And people who are complaining about slop vibe code is just the people who produce the code aren't owning it. They aren't like actually figuring out for themselves, like doing the work to like own the code. Let's see. Custom types, configure custom types for custom. Command install. Through extract from B score now requiring explicit config. BD config. Why are we adding these? Is this something we should be modifying? Like, that's not related to code coverage. Yeah, why are we doing a bunch of bead stuff? Oh, we added to fix the CI test. Gotcha. Okay. Functional change to GT is all not just CI fix. Okay. No, keep it. I want to fix the CI test. Okay. Configuring. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Where are we watching from, chat? Where are we all from? I'm in Las Vegas right now. Or not right now. I live in Las Vegas. But yeah, I think let's see. Maybe I'll pull up, let's see what's going on here. Orlando, Central Kentucky. Dang. Brazil. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I don't know. I started doing this and I'm like one of the first streams, I made a stream earlier this week, like Monday maybe, from India. Oh dang. 8:45 p.m. Oh wow. About time for bed. Uganda. Oh wow, awesome. All over the world. Like that's the crazy thing with the internet is that we're likely not going to meet. Like I'm not, I don't know. Like it's going to be very difficult to like actually meet people on the internet in real life. Like I've done it with this biomech like group chat that I was in with I don't know. Biomech is like a weird offshoot of like just traditional weightlifting or whatever, but yeah, like we did an in-person meetup for that, and that was pretty cool. Like that, like you see people's personalities in the like the text chat. Oh, Argentina, wow, nice. But then you see them in real life, and it's like, oh shit, like everyone from the group chat is here, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting to like see how like people project themselves out onto the internet. We can learn anything from anywhere. Yeah. And yeah, learn from anyone, right? So yeah, no, it's wild. Okay. So we have one PR up. Ad coverage. Ready for review. Cool. So then can we label things? Do we have access to labels? Sorry, 1 second. Oh, no. Let fix. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'm not using Gastown to fix Gastown. Like, it's interesting to like. Well, I guess at the same time, like while I'm streaming, like it would be a lot to just like really jam on something. You have a question? Sure. Shoot. Let's see. But yeah, all right. So this is the next one. So I want to. Okay. So I want to add this. I want to what are all these? Test agent preset. Oh, these are tests. Okay, so we need to like test process. Okay, these are all tests. That's like the test files. Okay. Take a look at and rebase on main. I think it's like 10,000 line change because it's not rebased yet. God's message to everyone. What's your question? Well, this rebases. Catching up on string, yes, someone use the crew. Basically, if I want to do some manual work on a repo, like no, of course, that's when you use crew. Okay, cool. Awesome. Nice to see you again, MJ Meyer Builds. Gotcha. That makes sense. Quite commonly for planning. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you use it to plan the beads in the individual rigs. Question is, a beginner feels lost in keeping track of the code while building. Currently, I use sprint planning to keep track of it. So how do you people handle it? Yeah. For vibe coding, like perfect example of it, like using Gastown. Let me. This is my do not merge. Closed. Oh. By author. So Stevie, like I produced all of these PRs, and just because I was like, on Monday, I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna like, whatever, like, fully embrace Gastown. Any little thing, I'm gonna kick off a polecat and I'm gonna like freaking have it do it, right? And I ended up like these ended up closed, right? Like because I wasn't responsible and like following up, and like I was producing way too much code for me to like. I expanded and I didn't like contract it in time, right? Like, and it was just kind of like clogging up the PR like PR like process here, right? So yeah, I need to like go through, like for me, I did a bunch of parallel work and I need to go through myself and like, and some of it isn't going to be used, like this dashboard stuff. Like somebody who actually knows web dev like actually made a much better GUI. So I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, that I'm just gonna let that let that close, let that be closed. And yeah, all this convoy lifecycle stuff. Like I was thinking about all these different dashboard things, but somebody like did a better version, right? So yeah, I did a bunch of work, and you kind of have to, you'll beginner dev without coding experience. I think vibe coding is dangerous. Yeah, probably. I mean, but at the same time, you gotta do things, right? Like you have to learn those lessons. And I think kind of the point of my channel, point of like what I'm trying to get across is that learning the process, right, like now, is more important than the software engineering process is the more important thing, versus like the syntax, like the syntax and lore, like this is another Yeagyism. It's like you don't have to learn the syntax. You still have to learn how things go. You still have to learn AutoCloud or AutoMaker, a bit more hand holding. Gotcha. Yeah. MJ Meyer builds. Yeah, I like generating a massive PRD, then that gets turned into beats. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be the... People put like a design phase or a... So that if we're talking about... This is the process that I'm talking about, is like people do like a research phase or design phase to start a major project, and then you do a planning, and then that gets turned into beads. Then you maybe review the plan. This is kind of where I use multiple agents, multiple different types of agents, like Codex. Codex in particular is pretty good. Gemini, like Grok, like whatever other agent you can think of, just to have different perspectives on the plan, and they comment on the beads, and then because that then all those comments get added together, like versus changing the plan, editing the plan. That's like destructive behavior, right? If you treat agents as if they're software developers in this process, they're just all adding to the plan. Like it's collaborative, non-destructive collaborative process. Then you kind of like digest the plan. You digest all the different those different comments on the beads, and then they kind of go into whatever your daily driver should like figure out. All right, what's the summary? What are the lessons here from all these comments on the plan, and then kind of digest those into refactor the beads if necessary, and then go into, and then you can repeat that if you, as much as you want, if that's like your thing. If however many tokens you want to spend on planning, go ahead and plan. But then you implement, and then you implement, then you can like create a PR, you review the code, you can hit the PR with multiple agents, same kind of thing, like all are reviewing and talking about different aspects of the code. And then you address those comments, or you say, hey, I'm going to kick this out to the next, a different beat. It's not like the same process or whatever, or like the agents don't have to like capitulate to everything, every single little comment. I almost got my Kate cert, so that made me feel like I could try this Anthropic. Let me feel, yeah. Kubernetes like is, I've read, I don't know. I own 3 Kubernetes books. I've read 2 of them, or most of 2 of them. And yeah, it's a like advanced system, right? Like it's kind of like, it's heavyweight for a purpose. Like all these things are built on, not just for funsies, not just to make it complex, but like for a reason. So same thing with Gastown, is that all these different roles are there for a purpose, and yeah, we just need to learn how to use them effectively. Cool. Sweet. Okay. Summary, rebased, 6 minutes, resolve conflict. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this now. Yeah, 6 commits, 9 files changed. 10,000 additions still. What is going on? Like just a bunch of tests? Is that the thing? Why are we changing all these formulas? Why are we changing all these different formulas? Oh, are these like tests? Benchmark, okay. For what projects can you use Kubernetes? I learned a while, but Docker always seen up. Yeah. I mean, if you're at a big enough company, that's kind of like a standard way of deploying your applications. Basically, if you don't need it, you don't need to use it, right? Like that's, it's one of those things where at a certain scale, like it makes sense in terms of like kind of clustering computers together and scheduling work across them. So similar to this is like we've got a bunch of agents together and we're trying to schedule work across them. But yeah, if you're just developing local, Docker is more than enough. And for individual dev up to a certain size, like Docker and arguably just a single VM is probably like good enough. I just started using beads and was doing that beads review comment and then refactor beads. This is a good workflow I should adopt. Sweet, thank you. Yeah, because the beads acts is a full-fledged like agent issue tracker, right? So it has all the same things that an issue tracker has. So yeah, I think the people don't use the comments enough. Probably that was kind of like a hidden little feature. I can't that came after Thanksgiving dinner. I was like lit. I was on the Balmer curve. I was Balmer peaking. Oh, and you guys see this bisexual lighting? This is like I was trying to do this cool lighting thing. That's why it keeps showing up. So don't like infer anything from that. Balmer peak. Basically after after Thanksgiving dinner, I was Balmer peaking vibe coding and had a good time. And I came up with that, like, not, I don't know, probably not super original, but like for me, I came up with like, oh, what if I use beads to comment on the beads, like other agents to comment on the beads, and then whatever, refactor the beads and like make the plan even better with multiple agents. So that was kind of like an insight I got from Balmer peaking. Anyways, projects like tons of microservices that need to scale, Docker is enough. Yep, exactly. Cool. All right, I don't see any formulas. There must have been temporarily there when a commit was made and removed. Go generate, synced, test it, benchmark file into the embedded formulas. I need for production. Actional inclusion. Yes, remove it. That commit from the branch. As always, like and subscribe. Just help me grow the channel, grow this kind of idea of, hey, the process is important, is probably most important than actually knowing the lines of code. If we can kind of like constrain the agents to do the shape of what we want them to do, that's kind of hopefully the point. Did I stop using Gastown? No, actually, like for personal use, I'm still using it. But for work, I'm trying to make changes to this. Where am I at? This is all too small. Let me just like I can't really restart from a. I don't know if that will work. Here. Where am I at? Here. So I have a PR up to add. What is this? Yeah, to add different agents like cursor agent, Augie, and all this stuff to help me use other ones when I run out of like Claude Code tokens, just to keep going with Gastown. So okay, and then we removed that commit. 5 child. Okay, this is more the the size PR that I was expecting. So even this, like, just looking at the number of changes, like we had all those whatever weird test towers of Hanoi files in there. We didn't need them, right? Like that was by accident. And if we just like blindly shipped it, that would just be extra stuff that we don't need. So then You might want to look into running a Ralph loop. Not familiar with Augie, but if you run it headless, you can still run it in a bash loop working on beads. Okay, cool. Noted. Maybe that Ralph loop, that sounds like it would be a formula. Using a stop hook that interrupts. Tries to exit, stop hook blocks exit. Same prompt back, repeat until completion. And you know. Never changes between iterations. Previous work persists in files. She's modified in files and autonomously improves by reading its own past work in files. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Doing the cloud code one is a bit broken. Gotcha. Link has a good overview of it. Okay, cool. Sweet. Thank you. Yeah. It sounds like like this would be a formula. So the cool thing about Gastown is that it has different ways for you to interact with agents, or like different processes. Let's see. Formula. Or actually, Beats formula workflow. So these are like workflows. So I think we could like add the Ralph process here and just say whatever. Keep doing this until it's done or whatever, right? Restream, yay. Received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Sweet. I've set up a formula in beads, so each step is basically a sub-agent that the Epic bead orchestrates. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay. But basically, I'm just kind of adding. All right, create a PR for this branch, indicating that it is ready for review with a good PR title and description. Smooth. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like you're leaning on iteration. Like that Ralph thing just sounds like that's like a brute force type of method, which could work. And yeah, I think that's the beauty of Gastown. It's a orchestration. It's a higher. It's not specifically for software development because that you can exactly like that. That's kind of why it's for vibe coding. But at the same time, like you can kind of expand it. You can kind of customize it to whatever workflows that you want. Like it's not just a strict, like people were saying, like a strict harness. Like it's not a strict like it has to go this way. It's more like you can customize it to what you want to do. Like people customize Kubernetes to the nth degree. It's supposed to be like a platform type of thing. Cool. Yes, it works well. What I like about it is you can sit on the loop, so it's easy to watch what it does, see what it's going, how you can improve. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Cursor, audio, and source graph app agent presets. Oh. It knows. Monitor CI. That's what I like to do. Works mostly because AI has a tendency to give up or mention time constraints because of the area, and just ask it, is it really done? Right? Just really push it. Oh, wait, it looks as going wrong. You can improve. I think it's kind of necessary to learn what guardrails, quote unquote guardrails, you need to put in place for something like Gastown run smoother. Yep, exactly. What is a Ralph loop? Yeah, we were talking about. I've got too many tabs open. I had it open somewhere. So it kind of loops until it's done, and which is, yeah, sounds like a pretty brute force way of doing things, but you know, could work, right? Oh, you guys can't see that. I need to keep moving this around. I need to fix my OBS settings one of these days. But it once deleted a lot of my code base because I asked it to clean up the linter errors, and it took that too literally. Yeah, exactly. Just you can't have errors if you don't have any code, right? So there you go. Good. Pushed lint fix, checking CI status. So this is the, like, this is my favorite part, is that it can just fix things, and it can loop on its own. This is my favorite part of agentic development, is that you have a standard. This is literally the guardrails in action. Is that there's a standard, and we need to meet this standard, and it won't let me merge, or I mean, a human has to, like Steve has to approve this and let me merge. But like, this is the standard. These red X's are the guardrails. The CI checks is one aspect of the guardrails that I talk about. Another is like the actual PR gating with PRs in general, right? If you're working on your own project, it's super easy to just like cruise and push directly in main or whatever. But like, if you do that enough times, you can like diverge. You can like kind of get really off track really quickly. So PRs are a mechanism. PRs in general is a mechanism to kind of like keep things on track, and the CI checks are a way to also keep everything on track. So it's, yeah, all these integration tests are what, oh, it's probably the same thing that I fixed for my other one, because there was some like beads thing. please look at if there's some integration test issues that we need. But it looks like they're, yeah, it's doing basically the same thing. It's making the same changes. Cool. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Really boosts the algorithm, helps me out, will help me grow, do more of these things. Just in general, would really appreciate it. Also, check out my newsletter. I have an article about Gastown. And yeah, what are feelings around beads versus something like Spec Kit? I've only used beads. I haven't used Spec Kit. Toolkit to help you get started. Spec-driven development. Okay, and this is from GitHub itself. Okay. I feel like so Spec Kit is all MD based, more human readable, friendly readable. Yeah, but does that matter? Right? Is that maybe like MJ Meyer was talking about using, like, making a spec first and like as a in Gastown as in the crew, and then like turning that into beads from there. So I feel like maybe we're putting together steps of this like process. Spec could be the first thing that's human readable and we can like human modify or whatever, and then maybe we turn that into an agent, more of an agent friendly format, as beads, and then from there the agents kind of take it and plan it and figure things out from there. Potentially that may be like this kind of process that we're coming up with. I haven't really used any specs. I think it does matter sometimes in circumstances. We still like to review the overall plan. It's not always relevant if it's purely for machine tasks. Yeah. But you can still review the like beads. Like, it tells you what beads are in play, what beads are like blocked by certain things. There's still ways to like introspect on what the beads are about, right? You can always ask it, hey, what's this bead about? Like what's its status or whatever. So beads gives the agents a CLI versus markdown. It needs to be grepped. Way more that can go wrong, and agents don't adhere to MD formatting, etc. Beads enforces things like dependencies, comments, etc. Yep, exactly. So it's almost like, so I've like two analogies here. So like, yeah, it's like exactly what MJ Meyer is saying is like it's a CLI, it's a binary, an interface for these issues, a strict interface, and agents love interfaces. They freaking love whatever, like tool calls or not tool calls, but like learning how to use binaries. That's what they're really good at. Versus grepping and kind of figuring out how files work. Not so good at that. But also like spec-driven development is like waterfall development almost, right? Like if you think waterfall, like we define this long whatever specification of, it should do X, Y, and Z, and never deviate from the spec. Well, what if the agent figures out something in the middle of development that you like a different consideration, and you learn something and it's like, oh shoot, I gotta go back and change the spec. Well, it's like it's a little bit less flexible than changing the issue, the beads task or whatever, and changing the dependencies around. So that may be another argument, is that spectrum development is like waterfall method, and then beads is more like agile, potentially. I don't know. Just my opinion. I am by no means the arbiter of all AI-driven development here. Okay, cool. We fixed the checks. Cool. Please indicate that it is ready for review. Cool. Yeah, anyways, I was talking about, like I did did an article recently on my first 10 hours with Gastown in the first 48 hours. So that was kind of a wild ride. Just kind of my overall thoughts on it or whatever. I make really granular beads, just like one. I just did one greenfield project with like 500 plus. I would die having that many MD files. Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, I love beads. That's kind of what convinced me. I was like, all right, this is the future, like this direction. Well, first, like beads came out of like in the first beads article. If we're just Steve Yegi fanboy show here, Yegi beads, or actually the introducing beads. It like shows him. He's like, oh yeah, I'm vibe coding every possible second of the day. That's the level of like experience that this guy has. I'm gonna just from my jujitsu background, the guy who trains the most, the guy who like does the thing the most is generally gonna win, right? The guy who trains the hardest and engages in the actual sport, engages in the actual activity, is generally going to win. So, he's probably vibe coded more than, I don't know, probably in the top 10 of vibe coders on Earth, right? Or top 100 maybe. So like, if he produced beads from that, like he knows kind of the like what exactly the problem is, and that's kind of why I trust Steve with beads and trust him with Gastown, is that he's way further ahead than us, like in terms of number of hours vibe coded. So I'm gonna trust him on like what his opinion is on these things. So Amazon Kiro for greenfield projects. Amazon Kiro. Agentic AI development for prototype development. Structured AI coding with spectrum development. Yeah, gotcha. Spectrum development, advanced steering, custom agents. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is, all these things are for sure I don't know. Maybe I'll ask maybe I'll do a basically cursor with specs. Okay, gotcha. Cool. It just doesn't match cloud code in any way from the with beads. It feels like much better workflow. Gotcha. I see. Cool. Yeah, it feels like these everybody has their own tooling, and everybody's, because we can scratch our own itch. Like we can, everyone like that. That's why there's a proliferation of tooling, is because developers are going to develop for themselves first, right? And that's why we're going to get 100 different ways to develop with vibe coding. 100, like that's, I don't know how many we brought up for beads with brownfield. Okay, interesting. That's a take. I mean, I don't know. I use beads just in general, so I'm not totally sure where. But maybe a spec for greenfield because you haven't built it yet. I don't know. That makes sense too. Yeah. The where was I going with that? I'm running out of steam a little bit, guys. But let's see. Where was I going? What was my train of thought? Spec-driven development, beads. Yagi, yeah. Basically, like doing the thing, whatever thing we do, we're gonna get better at, right? So that's kind of like my idea, is that trying a bunch of different stuff may not Kira kind of does it, but at work prefer working for a feature breakup in these. We're getting started for someone using Conductor and tracking with GitHub issues. Oh, Conductor AI. Yeah, everybody has their own. Is that it? Or Google Conductor? I don't know which Conductor you're talking about. And tracking with GitHub issues. Should I invest the time? Is it worth it? Generally, like, or Conductor AI parallel. There's so many conductors. There's I think just stick with the tool. Stick with the tool that you know. That I guess that's my point, is that if you don't have good, yeah, I can see Kara working for most. Yeah, cool. This is like, I'll probably end on this, is like my theory, again, just like my opinion, man, is that we just get better at whatever we do, right? The Y Combinator one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, run a team of coding agents on your Mac. Okay. I think I've seen this one too. Parallel Codex and Claude agents in isolated workspaces. See at a glance. Working on. Yeah. Like these work trees. Codex. Yeah, I've. Maybe. Like, all this stuff that this suit beats that is worth. I do freelance a lot, and so rewriting the same specs for basically the same stack gets repetitive. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I feel like everyone sticking to one. It's all when I'm not hopping between CLI agents. Cloud Code is demonstrate they're dogfooding the crap out of it. Yep, exactly. Like so the first thing, their velocity is the same. Yep. So the first indicator, I guess, that I use for deciding whether I want to use a tool is who also uses it, right? So if Claude Code is like whatever, trusted, quote unquote trusted, like, because all this is like all this influencer stuff, like why you're watching me, like why you're like reading certain books, why you're like it's all because like there's some level of like faith, some level of like trust that we, like, you just asked, like, is it worth my time? You're asking me for my opinion, and because you have some amount of trust that I've looked into this stuff more. Spoiler alert, I haven't. Like people have like asked about like, I don't know, a dozen different frameworks over the last few days, and it's like, yeah, there's just too many for any one person to like go through all of them. So all you can really say is like, okay, what are maybe the best guys doing, and what resonates with me, what makes most sense to me. And like I'm speaking this from experience, because like we literally went through this whole thing with jiu-jitsu, with this thing called the ecological approach, or CLA, constraints-led approach. And it was kind of like a revolution in terms of training, where we just spend more time doing the live thing, doing the thing more. Where like instead of like drilling techniques statically, like, you think of like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, like doing a bunch of like kind of static drills, or katas, where you have like a choreographed sequence of steps. Like that doesn't actually work. Like nobody actually hits the choreographed sequence of steps like in a real fight, right? So you need to like really learn how to like spend time in certain like positions to fight, in a grappling, for me, grappling context. Like I don't do MMA, I don't do strikes. You got to actually spend time in the thing that you're trying to get better at, and actually try and fail. So there's specific positions, like there are a bunch of different specific positions in jiu-jitsu, and you just need to spend enough time in all of them to be kind of good, right? So, and you can't do all of them in parallel, right? You can't get better at all of these skills in parallel. Like you have to, you're limited by your body to doing one thing at a time, right? And your attention can only be on one thing at a time. So why this like resonates with, like why like vibe coding resonates with me so much is that we're constraining the agent to focus on something, just constraining it to, with guardrails. We have this general term guardrails, which can mean many different things, but we're constraining it, and it's going from a wide open field of possibilities, and it just kind of wanders around, right? We're constraining it in this like multi-dimensional 3D type of like method, with CI checks, with whatever testing, with GitHub, like don't push directly in main, all these different like concepts. Like we're constraining it, and we're pushing it forward along this track towards what we want it to do. So that's ultimately like, okay, some of the top people are using this thing in this way. Okay, let me try that out. And then you got to stick with it to get the benefits of it, right? Like it's sort of like a workout. If you lift weights or work out or whatever, if you're changing your program every week, you're not like actually getting better. You're not lifting, you're not increasing the same weight a little bit more at a time, right? So people want to know the best thing. And of course, like it's a reasonable question to ask. Like, you don't want to waste your time, but I would argue that starting anything, using anything, is better than nothing. And there's 100 different orchestrators. Use one of them. I'm particularly like, I'm a fan of Yegi, and Beads is amazing. So I am going to just kind of follow him down the path. He wrote a book with Gene Kim, and like I trust Gene Kim, so whoever he writes a book with is probably pretty good. So I feel like they are at the forefront for me. Like down the path that I want to go, I'm going to follow them. But if you like somebody else, like this, I don't know, any of these guys, Conductor, or the whatever, this other guy, who is this? The guy that we talked about, the BMAP method, or the Peter Steinberger, like all these guys, like get in, like I'm using guys in general, right? Whoever, all these people. If you like that, like that's this quote unquote influencer economy, right? Like is like if you trust them enough to follow them, do it. Like do like if they it's all kind of like, oh, it worked for me. Okay, I'm gonna give it a good try, and there may be rough edges, and I am more willing to put up with rough edges because I see the vision. I'm willing to kind of follow through with it, and I'm willing to like stick with it, and like I'm literally like contributing to it. Like I'm spending my own money on Claude tokens to help contribute to the project. So in like time, in like beyond money, time. Like I'm putting in like volunteer work to improve this thing because I see potentially I can use this at my job at the very minimum. Like even if I don't like, I don't know, get any gigs from like, to be very honest, like this is like the pulling the curtains back is like, oh yeah, I'm basically marketing myself by doing this live stream, right? I'm putting my message out there. So if I am doing all this stuff, like I kind of believe in this thing, but that's just my opinion. Like you figure out what resonates with you, and kind of go down a path that feels good to you. And any path is going to require some amount of work. Alex Hormozy has this good kind of like rule of thumb for him is that in changing anything is going to be a minus 20%. Like changing any business process, any like tool change is going to be a minus 20% hit to your productivity. Just think about the last programming language you had to learn, right? Probably at least a minus 20%, if not a 50% hit on your productivity, because you're like now like trying to translate things and you're trying to like think through different patterns or whatever. And you're not going to use that minus 50% productivity language on, say, a hacker rank or a leak code type of interview, right? Like you're going to use your best language. So your most productive language. So your most productive language is still going to be your most productive language because you put the most time in there, right? Versus, I get it, as engineers, we're looking for the best tool. We're looking for the highest leverage thing because we're lazy. I like being lazy too. I like, I don't know, being told that things work great or whatever, right? That things just do things, like things just work. We all love that. But we have to look at this as like a skill. And it's a iterative improvement process with these super high leverage tools. I'm sure all of these orchestration things. Sorry, my voice is going. All of these orchestration tools are like I'm sure they all work. I'm sure they all work great for all of them because they all have community traction. They all have support from people who really believe in them, right? So I'm sure they work. For me, I'm just going to go down kind of the process, this rabbit hole with this guy who I trust and who wrote a book with a guy I trust, right? So I'm not looking for, if I change to something else now or try it out, like maybe it works better, maybe it doesn't. I think there's trusting people who do the thing is kind of like where I'm like people, when people do work, it's almost inherent. It's almost like obvious that they've done the work, right? Like when you've you talk to somebody, they're super like polished and super like squared away, and it's obvious they did all the work, right? It's obvious that they are so confident because they've done so much work, and they've done so much work that like is the evidence for their confidence, right? So anyways, I think I'm gonna jump off and eat a little bit of breakfast and get to my first meeting. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Again, check out my article on Gastown. I'm going to put out another one this weekend. And subscribe to the newsletter, just kind of for more longer form kind of breakdowns. I'm kind of thinking out loud on these live streams. Those things are going to be more, my articles are more like condensed, more like straight to the point. But yeah, thank you for listening to me yap. And yeah, like and subscribe the YouTube channel, boost the algorithm. Really helps things, helps the channel grow. Thank you, and all you watch out for billing. Yeah, right. Cool. All right, thanks all. See you guys later.